Good evening. Welcome to the Roxy Files and Waking God's Child tonight. How are you, Lisa?
I am good, and I am sorry she's not late. It was me trying to figure out why I was putting the wrong channels on here, so I am very challenged this evening. My apologies, Roxy. How are you doing?
Fantastic. I was looking at the comments. Clayton, that's because we have a soul tie, honey, and we are connected at a deeper level. That's why you knew I was coming online. And yes, Big E, I saw you, sweetheart. I know you were first in the door. Hey, Miss Kay. Hey, Diana, Kent. Thank you, everybody. We had a pop up show today. As usual, me and Lisa and Shannon spend our whole dang day on the phone with each other when we're not doing something else. And
Right.
Lisa and I had some moments today, and we were like, might as well do a show.
And last night, too, at the moon, right?
Yeah, the moon was crazy last night. I don't know if anybody else paid any attention to that moon, but what time was it, Lisa? About 10 o'clock? My time?
Yeah, it would have been 10 your time, probably a little bit before, so maybe 9:30 to somewhere in there. But everyone on social media was talking about how the moon was bouncing around, going in and out of focus, and it looked different from all of our sides.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
everybody's looked different. And we had me, Lisa, and Daniel, and we all took pictures at the same time, and we were sharing them. And I shared them with Clayton. Clayton saw them. And Clayton, did you see the demon on the moon, sir? I thought you would find that one quite interesting with the
Um,
demon on the moon. But
and that's crazy that you said that because that's what I saw.
yeah, it was a
That's
demon on the moon. Lisa and I were having a conversation today about hey Mike. I don't know if I said hey Mike, but hey Super Mike. Um, having conversations today about, as usual, everybody in the they, when you put the they in it, is is slamming stuff right in our face up under our nose and we never even see it. Oh, over there where okay, hang on, Lisa. You know where your chat is?
I actually got it back. I realized I was under the private chat there.
No,
So
no, no. All right, see right beside where you type in, there's a drop down arrow.
oh, my
Click it
bad.
and select your channel. No, 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 you're fine. It'll go to all channels, but they won't know who's typing.
This is the
Um,
first time I've been on the receiving end or the opposite end, well, that and the other night. So thank you. I thank God for Roxy because, and I mean that because she is so savvy on this stuff. I don't know what I would do without you. She taught me some stuff tonight, even though I've been like directing my own restream forever and a day, which is no longer because I got her now. But she has shown
and
me lots of things I didn't know were there.
and just
So
everywhere for the whole audience. This is my house coat. This is where we're at tonight. It's cold in here. My daughter decides that we need to keep the house like a deep freezer. So I have on an extra layer. I'll probably have a hot flash in a minute and start stripping. So I'm not getting naked. There's more layers. Anyway, we had our conversation today about
it's
things
not
hidden
working.
in plain sight, and we have a few things. But I actually found something, and I shared it with Lisa on TikTok a while ago, and she probably hasn't had a chance.
I
Hey
didn't. Sorry.
James, but I want to see. Has Lisa? Have you ever heard the Rockefeller Proclamation from the late 1800s? Their Masonic creed about what they were going to do to us and how they were going to do it.
That doesn't sound familiar, honestly. I'm surprised I
Well,
haven't. So,
everybody hang on to your seats because this is a TikTok. It's only going to last a couple of minutes. I'm going to play it. We're going to play it all the way through. Listen to it. Don't worry about the guy you see on the screen. He's just playing it. Listen to it. And I got to make sure I get the audio to go. So here we go, guys. If you want to know what they have intended for us for many, many years, here it is. This is being read from a written document, which I have come across many times and is completely real. So let's see if it'll share it with sound. It has a bad tendency to not want to do that with me sometimes. All right. Also share audio. So, all right. Mike, give me a 5x5 if you can hear this when I hit play. Well, now I'm not hearing anything.
Oh.
I don't understand why it does this part of the time.
Tap on the actual TikTok again. This part I think I can do.
Oh, I see it. Haha.
Yeah, there you go.
Can we hear that, everybody?
No, that's really weird.
Why is it stuttering so bad now? It won't even let me pause it.
It's not actually showing up on our end or Audible, I should say. But
Hang
we
on,
know your
guys.
volume and mic is working. It is on the TikTok end. And hit that mic again. Try that one more time. So you know how you can pull up people and you can allow the mic to be used or not be used. You see that
Yeah,
little box that has that? That's the only other thing I can think to try.
it does this every once in a while. Why is
I,
it
I know
doing
I've
this?
had nothing but issues the last couple of weeks with mine. So
Let me see if I can adjust the volume, guys. Because this is something you all need to hear. Like, really, really need to hear.
yeah, isn't it funny how that works though? When you go to try to show something that's very important,
Well, and it
it
doesn't
always
surprise
says
me.
no, not at all.
Can we hear that?
Mm-mm.
Oh my, I'm gonna lose it with this restream.
You want to text me what it is, and I can try to look it up and see if I can do it from my end.
Yeah, hang on.
Maybe.
Alright, guys, I'm gonna kill this screen a second. No,
Okay,
I don't
hold
want to
on.
share multiple screens.
Wait, let's do. I'm gonna go for. Okay, put it back up from your end because I'm gonna try to maneuver it from my end, or click back on it, put it back in the guest box or whatever you call that. Okay, let me see here. So I've had this issue as well, and
It done this before with me. Yeah, you can maneuver from your end too.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Microphone. Okay, here we go. Microphone. Let's try this.
Allow.
Um,
Yeah, I toggled the switch to share audio. I don't know
it's
why it's
not.
not.
I hit play. It's not even playing, is it? Mm, microphone again.
Can you
Default.
not
Let's
hear it?
try default here. Okay, I'm gonna keep going down the list. Let's see. Communications microphone. Maybe that will be the difference. That's so weird.
Hang on. Let me see. I might be able to find this somewhere else, guys.
YouTube would work if it was on there.
Here we go. If I have to, I'll just read it.
Yeah, because I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
This literally tells you that they're gonna put soft metals in your water, in your food, in your air. And then when we get sick, they will pacify us with a BS attempt to doctor us while they basically bleed us dry. Here we go.
Yeah.
This is text taken. Now, let me just say, guys, this is the yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's one of them.
Yep.
Here we go. This is an excerpt. And of course, what is it doing? No, I don't want your premium plan. We will keep their lives short and their minds weak while pretending to do the opposite. We will use our knowledge of science and technology in subtle ways so that they never see what's happening. We will use soft metals, aging accelerators, and sedatives in food and water as well as in their air. They will be covered in poisons wherever they turn. The soft metals will make them lose their minds. We will promise to find a cure from our many funds, and yet we will give them more poison. Chemical poisons will be absorbed through the skin of idiots who believe the certain hygiene and beauty products presented by the great actors and musicians will bring eternal youth to their face and their body. Adrenochrome. And through their
Mm-hmm.
thirsty and hungry mouths, we will destroy their minds and systems of internal organs and reproduction. However, their children will be born disabled and deformed, and we will hide this information. The poison will be hiding in everything around them, in what they drink, eat, breathe, and wear. We have to be ingenuous in distributing the poisons because they can see far. We'll teach them that poisons are good with funny pictures and musical tones on television. Those who are looking for them will be helpful. We'll enroll them to push our poison. They will see that our products are used in film and use them and will never know the true effect. When they give birth, we'll inject poisons into the blood of their children and convince them that we are helping them. We will start earlier, when their minds are young. We will target their children with what children love most, sweet things. When their teeth decay, we will fill them with metal that will kill their mind and steal their future. When their ability to learn has been affected, we have created drugs that will make them sicker and cause them other illness, for which we will create even more drugs. We will then make them docile and weak before us by our power. They will grow depressed, slow, and obese. And when they come to us for help, we'll give them more poison. We will focus our attention on money and material goods so that they never connect with their inner self. We will distract them with fornication and external pleasures so that they are never one with the unity of all. Their minds will belong to us and they will do as we say. If they refuse, we will find ways to implement technology that alters the mind in their lives. We will use fear as a weapon. We will establish their government and we will establish opposition within them. We will own both sides. We will always hide our goal, but we will continue our plan. They will do the work for us, and we will prosper from their toil. Our families will never mix with theirs. Our blood must be pure because it is. We will make them kill each other when they oppose us. We will keep them separate from unity through dogma and religion. We will control all aspects of their lives and tell them what to think and how. We will guide them kindly and let them believe that they are guiding themselves. We will instigate animosity among them through our factions. When a light shines among them, we will extinguish it by mockery or death, whichever suits us best. We will make them tear their hearts apart and kill their own children. We will accomplish this using hatred as our ally and anger as our friend. Hatred will completely blind them and they will never see in their conflicts we will be their leaders. They will be busy killing each other. They will bathe in their own blood, kill their neighbors, as long as we see that they're against us. We will benefit greatly from this, for they will not see us. They cannot see us. We will continue to prosper from war and death. We will repeat this until the ultimate goal is achieved. We will continue to make them live in fear and anger. We'll give them images and sounds. We'll use all the tools we have to achieve this. The tools we provided by their work, we will make them hate themselves and their neighbor. We will always hide the divine truth from them that we are all one, that he must never know. They
Wow.
must never know that color is an illusion. They must always believe that they are not equal. Drop by drop, we will advance our goal. We will take over their land, resource, and wealth to exercise control. We will trick them into accepting laws that will steal the little freedom they have. We will set upon a money system that will shut them down forever, keeping them and their children in debt. When we band together, we will accuse them of murder and present a different story to the world because we will own all the media. We will use the media to control the flow of information and their feelings in our favor. When they rise up against us, we will crush them like insects because they are less than that. They will be helpless to do anything about it. Just remember what you are to them.
Ants. uh, you know who I feel like wrote that? Whoever this R.C. Christian was, same guy with the Georgia Guidestones that, yes, have since been destroyed. But I did a huge piece on that. It's the same concept, right? I mean,
Mm.
keep humanity at a certain number. And I have never heard that, though, by the way. That is, wow. I mean, that is in your face stuff, right? The whole topic of tonight, hidden in plain
Well,
sight.
there's a whole different part of that we've not even talked about. Sorry, guys. Still trying to get over this crud. And
Um,
JFCG, I will read that in a second. Um, what we just read was about them controlling the media and the television and the cosmetics. This was written in the 1800s.
Sorry, I just went ahead and put the chat back up if that's
That's
okay.
fine.
But yeah, and that's when R.C. Christian, right around the same time, was trying to. It wasn't like right when he put the guidestones up, but about the time that he came about inquiring. Isn't that the
No,
I got?
1880. Not
Oh,
1980.
18.
1880.
Whoa.
They're talking
Well,
about controlling the media and the television. We didn't have televisions in 1880.
no, we have the technology. We know that. That is insanity. 1880, right about the time that our entire world here changed. The world fairs suddenly disappeared. They're just temporary, remember?
Clayton
Um,
says Albert Pike might have been the
that's
one that
the
wrote that.
that's the name right there. That's the name I'm familiar with is Albert Pike. Yes. Um, and there is something else regarding Albert Pike as well. Oh gosh, Clayton, you got to help me here because there's another really important piece of information. I'm drawing a blank right now. Devil went down to Georgia. That's right. Charlie Daniels actually talks. That's a lot of what that song is. There's another piece of information regarding Charlie Pike that I had stumbled across. Gosh, it wasn't too long ago, which kind of was everyone's familiar or most are familiar with the Morgellons disease or strange emerging illnesses. And it was a piece kind of regarding that. I was thinking, if I'm not mistaken, which I actually, Roxy, I had a US patent that I just pulled up too that I think needs to be shared because it's along those lines, but I don't know. Most people should be familiar. You said 1800s, that right there makes complete sense. If you think about that, that's about the time the orphan trains were going through. The this whole United States or
Look at
whatever
that
you want to.
tidbit.
What's that?
Look at that tidbit on the screen. Georgia
600.
Guidestones are 666 miles from UN headquarters.
Totally. I mean, all of these things speak for themselves in numerical values
Okay,
of,
I
of the
have.
sacred way. I don't know any other way to say it, but all I know is when I delved in deep and that into Star Force as well, especially the World Fairs, the orphan trains, the Star Force, just think about what it would have taken to really populate this country here, at that time and build these extremely architecturally advanced designs and buildings that, in my own opinion, have been here well before the 1800s. But I mean,
um Somebody in the crowd wanted me to pull up Rudolf Steiner, page 16. I've got Rudolf Steiner pulled up, but is there a particular book we should be looking for, JC?
yeah. And Roxy, how do I put up this patent that you can show it that I also have that I think
You can
people would.
show it on the very bottom, third button
Okay, yeah,
over
no, I
from the
can do
left.
it. I just didn't know if you would like to. I just didn't know if
No,
let me
go
try
right
this
ahead,
here.
girl. Do
Okay,
it.
because I think that it's really important. I've found so many things, and of course, having what some would call Morgellons disease. You know, I think outside the box, and I already know that Morgellons is not really necessarily a thing of its own entity. I believe it's very massively scaled. Is that showing up right at all? Can you guys see
Yeah,
it?
hang on, I can make it a little bigger.
Yeah, because I can't. So,
No, that's
but
as big as she gets.
okay, there you go. So this is the method of inducing mental, emotional, and physical states of, God, I can't even read right now. Consciousness, including specific mental activity in human beings. And these are just things I've stumbled across trying to dig deeper into all of the strange emerging illnesses, which kind of goes hand in hand with the control aspect and what they're doing to us and what they've been, as far as I'm concerned, from the second we were in our mother's wombs and getting, once we're birthed and immediately taken away and getting injected with what I'd like to call as a cocktail of delusion and confusion. But I think that all of these things factor in. Is that not? It's not getting bigger.
No,
Anyways,
with your
so I don't know how to make this go down here. I'm going to try this a different way. Okay. So I'm going to scroll here and hopefully I think it's showing up bigger now, right?
a little bit, yeah.
I'm so sorry. My mother will always call, even if I tell her, please
That's what
don't write.
mothers are for.
I am so glad she's still here, though. I am so grateful for that. But I'm not going to lie. She's going to keep it up, even though I beg her not to. But she actually died and came back, and she came back as a different person, to put that politely. But but she can also tell you about her journey and what she saw on the other side, and it's interesting. And it's I have no doubt there is a God like you have no idea. So, anyways, since I can't really maneuver this correctly, but you guys get the idea, just remember this page. And if you get a chance to go back and look at it, this is just one of probably hundreds that I found with patents and, regarding intention and controlling the population in many, many ways. It looks like it is kind of scrolling, but it's a long read, but it's a worthy read. And this is just, again, one among hundreds that I have, come across, and including this solar, what do you call it? The fake sun, I would like to call it, but even the moon that we're talking about earlier, and what it actually is, the infrastructure that and I can never say what it actually is because none of us really know, but we have a good idea when we're seeing patents on the creation of things and what they involve, what they're intended for, and was meant to be hidden from us. But if you dig deep enough, you can find a lot of these answers. And right here, even, will give you, everything one thing leads to another. So, but with that said, and Roxy, like, for your information, like, yeah, if you want to take a look at this, I think you're smart like that. You're going to understand a lot of what this is trying to tell you as far as the manipulation of the human
Yeah,
body,
I'd
mind,
I'd
soul,
love to go to those
movement.
three-letter agencies and do Freedom of Information Acts. I'm sure that that's probably added me to another list that I'm on now. Just saying, I'm at the point that I'm gonna go on the backside of the property and just put a big X on the ground so when the aerial vehicles come over, they know where I'm
Make
at.
it easy on her,
Just
right?
make it easy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I
Lord
was
knows
married
our
to that
taxpayer
three-letter
dollars are paying
thing.
their dang salary. I wouldn't want them to waste no time.
Yep. Well, and like I said, I was married to that two of those three-letter agencies, and you have to take an oath as a spouse of those people. I don't know how to get this down,
I got it.
Roxy. Okay. So yeah, so I had to take an oath, a big time oath, and happening in a very strange, very discreet place. And I will park that bus there because a lot of things have happened with the more I've shared, which I am not a stranger to, but it's not fun torture. But there is a lot of technology, to put it politely, that most people don't understand is even possible, much less going on, much less taking place. And it is. And that technology goes millennia back. It's not just like everyone says, oh, we're actually 20 years in advance. It's just way more than that. I promise you. It's not a 20 years in advance. It's not a 40 years in advance. This is technology we have had in the era of the biblical times, keeping in mind that, the Bible states clearly, as in the days of Noah, so it shall be again. And that's why the earth was already washed and wiped clean at one time, because this technology is the forbidden technology and it has been here. And being who I was married to, it was an accidental kind of understanding, if that makes sense. and a complete understanding after divorce and connecting dots of certain areas, geographical areas he was going to at the time, especially, and especially before and after 9/11, and countries and places that most people hadn't even heard of at the time. But I just can tell you one thing for sure. I mapped it out. It only makes sense. And all of these things, the coordinates all interconnect. This is a very large puzzle. Morgellons is included. The alien invasion is included. Bigfoot's included. This is all interconnecting, a very large scale interconnecting puzzle that
Well,
most
and
people would never have any idea. So
hey, Miss Carol, I see everybody over there. Hey, how Clayton? What is the name of the girl that we watched? Gosh, what is her name? She's super smart. The body of the internet of bodies, bodies of internets. What is her name? Clayton knows what
I
I'm
think
talking
I know.
about. I sent him over to her to watch her, but like the molecular structure of our body and how they're using the cloud. But I want to
It
bring
could be
this up.
manipulated too.
I want to bring this up. Somebody very, very near and dear to me, in a little place that we talked about today, Lisa. Reminded me that we okay when we're looking at the Bible, when you refer to or you're looking at Egyptian art, I don't care what it is, what they called it back then is not what we might call it now. Uh, now, Clayton, buddy, I can't do but so ding, ding, ding. I can't do but so many things at a time. Anyway,
I thought it was mine.
no, it's Clayton. Clayton's watching the show and texting me like info for
Well,
the show
he's
at the same
smart.
time.
He knows what he's talking about for
I'm telling
sure.
you, I have a soul tie with this man. I've never seen him, but I have a soul tie with this man.
There's a few of us that definitely interconnect in strange ways that we have no idea how it happened.
Sabrina Wallace. There you go, Miss Carol. Thank you, Sabrina
No,
Wallace.
I did a whole piece on her. I
If
did a whole
if
video
anybody in
on
the
that.
audience has not sought out Sabrina Wallace, that woman is brilliant. She is one of the greatest minds next to Clayton over there that I've ever known. Yes, you're
You
right.
betcha.
Sabrina
Like I
Wallace,
said,
Clayton.
I did a whole write up on her, well, a whole video documentary on her
But oh,
and
sorry.
what she thinks.
Squirrel. I got off track. Squirrel. Anyway, when
No, that's right. That's a good call.
when we
Yeah,
are talking about okay, in the Bible it tells you that in the end times there will be a statue.
signs. Okay.
What they may have called something back then may not be what we call it now. Words change. What we assume is alien, when you think about illegal aliens, that means they just didn't come from here. It don't
They're
mean
not
they
from
didn't
here.
come from next door. They just didn't come from here. So when they start talking about alien invasions, I want everybody to open your mind up to the fact that that alien invasion may just be parasites, folks. Like the actual demonic parasites that are taking this world. Have you
That's right.
ever seen as many parasites causing as many health problems as we're having right now? And Morgellons is like example number one. Morgellons took my dad from me.
That is very real. I literally died. I can tell you it is terrifying on top of tormenting on top of you talk about the devil going down to Georgia, the devil goes down to take your soul with this and most people break. It doesn't and most people don't get through it. Gosh, I could give you. That's why I connected with Sabrina Wallace so much, and actually, what led me to go to the well, I called it human Wi-Fi. Actually,
Hmm.
um, if you don't mind, if we play like just a tad bit of it because it shows my body a little bit of what happened to it with Sabrina Wallace's teachings here shortly because it is and again I don't think Morgellons is necessarily a thing in itself. All of these strange emerging illnesses are very much interconnected along with the George along with this technology, along with the three-letter words, along with the Rockefellers, along with everything taking place in our world that was meant to destroy, distract, and misguide, because it's a design. It's by design. It's by Satan's design, and people don't realize how very much, in fact, it is real first and foremost, but how much it interconnects. And Sabrina actually does a brilliant job of connecting those dots in a very savvy, respectable way that makes sense.
And
And it's
she's not
hard to make
somebody you
sense.
can go watch 1 3-minute video and think you've got her. No, you need to go watch her content. And you need to start at the beginning of her explanations and work your way through. Because if you start at the end, it will blow your mind. You will never get the
I
concept.
captured a good part here, though. By the way, when I did this documentary on her,
Mhm.
I actually captured a really good, directional view of where she goes. If you don't mind, can I play
Play
just
it.
a couple of?
Play
Because
it.
I think that people will get the idea, and keeping in mind that you got to go to her channel afterwards, because she is just. I'm telling you, and I relate to her because I'm also considered what's a targeted individual, as many of you are. I guarantee you, you know what I'm talking about. So, all right, let me do this here. I think it's there. No, that's not it. Hold on. Sorry. I just had it up here. Entire screen share.
Send it,
Do
Clayton.
this. Oh, that is it. Okay, we got this. Going back here.
Lisa's working with a
Okay.
whole new screen tonight.
Yeah, I'm not used to being on this end at all. All right, share this. I have
There we
to
go.
talk my way.
Oh,
Wow, that did
that didn't
not.
work.
No, it didn't.
Oh, you don't have
How do I?
multiple screen. There you go.
Is it there now?
Yeah, it's there now.
Okay, why is this still? Let me make this big here.
There
All
you go.
right. Now I gotta play it. Hello, Lise. There we go. I gotta start this right. This is talking about. This is one I did about the human body as a Wi-Fi system.
Yeah, we're not hearing anything. I don't know what's going on with this
No,
thing and the sound tonight.
that's crazy.
It may just be restreamed because it was acting up earlier.
Can anyone else hear it? Are you seeing any comments?
I don't think anybody can hear it.
That's so weird.
I'm telling you, I think it's a restream thing tonight.
It's got. Now I gotta figure out how to hear it.
You want me to take it down?
Yes, please, because I have it on full screen and I can hear it. That's so weird.
Yeah, I think it's something with restream tonight. I don't think it's us. But she's fantastic. Go over to Lisa's channel, Waking God's Child. If you haven't gone over there and subscribed, by all means go and subscribe. Lisa has
Vice
content.
versa with mine.
Right, it's Waking God's Child. Lisa's gonna have content that I don't have. I'll have stuff she doesn't have. Shannon is the same way with her channel. Daniel, we all have our individual stuff, but we tend to more so come together as a group because
Yeah,
and
the
I
compliments each other for sure.
absolutely, and there are a lot of us out there that feel isolated or insulated and alone and kind of drifting because we can't have conversations with normies. So, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's not a derogatory. It's just you
Mhm.
can't. I don't
Once you're
I don't
linked
care you
there.
went to the car wash and washed your car. It's irrelevant to me. Do you know that it's probably covered in non-lethal chemicals plus the ones in the water at the car wash? And they just look at you like you got horns growing on your head. But this is what
Yeah.
this is what our channels are for, is so that all of us in chat can become a community and reach out. But since I've started doing this, I have the most amazing team of people that I've come across. Lisa being um one, she's now a very close friend that I didn't even know 2 months ago. And like we're going
Yeah.
on
God
vacation
has
together.
a crazy way. Yeah. I think God brings all of us together in unique and wonderful and beautiful ways that where we were once, and I guarantee you, we're all still in our own necks of the woods, isolated from most of the world around us in our areas. And I'm willing to bet most of you are that are watching. And I know my subscribers on my channel. By the way, subscribe to Children of the Most High and the Roxy Files. All my subscribers, please, please, please. They're amazing. If you cannot tell, but it's to me, it's just the Lord has this wonderful way of bringing those like us where we feel alone, forgotten, left out, not important. And our families have even made us, feel like that. It's crazy. Yes, ma'am, that too. And Finn Benzino. But it's crazy how wonderful and just when you least expect it and you believe you're all alone, all of a sudden there you are with others like you. Yes, we're scattered throughout the earth. We are scattered throughout this world for a reason. We're strategically and beautifully placed in the regions that we were meant to be because you got to cover your grounds in that area. You got to be the light that shines. You got to be the hope that most don't have anymore. People lose hope very easily, and you can see why. Look how easy it might have been for us to lose it at one time, or many of us came darn near close to it. But this is not an easy place to live, especially when you are spiritually awakened in the most real way and not in the most
Because let me tell you, once you put these glasses on, everything looks
ain't no
different.
taking them off. I
And you
love
don't get to
that.
take them back off. You don't get to hand them to other people. These glasses that you get with this awakening are special. You
That's
you
right.
you can't give them back. This is your view forever. So get used to it. Get comfortable. There's going to be some rough days. Let me tell you.
Right.
I've spent some days just crying, thinking about what the world really is now. And I caught myself today driving down the highway, and I'm looking around at like all the houses they're building in the area, and I see all these people on the highway, and I'm like, you know what? The majority of these people don't even know what's going on in the
Not a
world.
Hey, my Sterling Toots. I love his little call name, Sterling Toots. I'm sorry, I had to say hi.
I say hi to all of them because
Awesome, all of you guys. I'm just so glad. I haven't seen him in a while though. So where have you been, Cupcake? That's awesome that you're here. Thank you,
Wayne,
Clayton. I love Clayton. By the way, I've been paying attention to a lot of what he says and his commenting, and as you've had him on, and brilliant mind right there. Really good information
I
all the
need to add you into the group. See, here comes the layer. Phew, hot flashes just kicked in. I need to add you into the
This
group
is just
text
too
with
sexy
Clayton.
for her house.
I have on my tattoo hero shirt today. Um,
I love it.
that's the local tattoo shop. They're the one that put the big unicorn on my back. Anyway, yes, I have a
Really, you
unicorn. I have a
woohoo! My
unicorn on
daughter
my
has
back.
a Land Before Time that she put on herself, but
I've got
my whole
13
torso.
tattoos.
I have nothing left of my torso, but a little bit. Space for when we go to California for a little bit more of a tattoo. But yeah, I'm covered in ink, and a lot of people have their says about that. And I'm just going to tell you one thing: it depends on what your intent is. That's how I feel about it. But I'm not God, and I don't decide. I just know
Listen,
that.
and we had this conversation earlier today. The judgiest people you will ever meet are sitting on the front pew of a church. God did not say, "Come to me when you got all your crap together." Jesus said,
Yeah, well,
"Bring your
that makes sense.
tired, your broken." All of his
Everybody.
apostles were drunks and murderers and prostitutes and liars and thieves. And he didn't go pick the pristine in the white gown to come because
No.
nobody, no, they have no scars, no experience, no wisdom. Wisdom comes from knowledge
Yeah,
and experience put together. Without the two
that's
together, you ain't got
exactly
squat.
right.
Because let me tell you, when it comes to the
You
end, we all
betcha,
gonna have
sis.
to have a switchblade.
She said that out loud. Yes, I agree.
Lisa, have you
That
seen
was
much
funny.
I don't say out loud, dear?
No, and I love that about you because honestly, it's the best policy. And not only that, what shame do we have in our game, and what more could we ever lose? But most of us have already
See,
lost it all, especially
this
those
is why
around
it
us
is
that
difficult for the
once
Roxy
there.
to date. If it
I
goes
love
through
it.
my mind, it comes out my mouth. Like, I don't have time for all
Yeah,
this bull crap. Like, let's just get down to the brass tacks of it. You have nothing I won't.
you go, girl.
Let's
You
just
go.
start from
That's all I
there.
can say. I love it. And that's the way it should be. And you know what? I mean, this judgmental stuff, as you know, I put a big piece out on the AI, and I had this man say, "You just love to hear yourself talk." And I'm like,
Well,
that was so
absolutely.
rude. It was a piece that I put out on AI Center being put here, right? I'm trying to help the town out because obviously it went undercover. Nobody said a word. There were no towns meetings. There were no any type of news media coverage, nothing. But I can throw a rock through my field at where this AI data center is going to be. And this man was
But you know what? It's
completely
okay.
hateful.
It's okay
Oh,
because
no, it was. I just said, well,
there
did your finger go on strike? Did it
well,
forget how to
there are
swipe?
26 people in this room right now that came to listen to us talk and commune with us. And there'll probably be
There you go.
hundreds upon thousands that may watch us before the sun comes up. So he's just a keyboard
There
warrior
you
that's too
go.
lazy to get out of his recliner.
I agree. Well, honestly, I've learned. Here's the funny thing: if anything at all, that the illness on top of the awakening has taught me over the last 16 years is how to be empathetic and sympathetic. And he could have had a really rocky road too, right? What may not have been considerably rocky for us because we know what real rocky looks like. But I mean, we're not him. We're not wearing his shoes. We haven't been in his position. We don't know what his tolerance levels are. So if anything, pray for him. And again, I did ask if his finger was on strike and if he forgot how to swipe right on past my page. He didn't have to comment. He didn't have to read. He didn't even have to
Hey,
look at the video.
my favorite
But
saying is don't let the doorknob hit you where the good Lord split you on the way out. I didn't
yeah,
beg
when
you to
he's like,
come here.
Jesus Christ, you love to hear yourself talk. And I said, don't dare take my Lord's
Listen,
name like that
I
unless you
have
expect to hear from him.
I
So
have inside information that Jesus loves to hear me talk. I'm just gonna tell you that. I mean, I ain't even ashamed.
he, he wants us to be talking
We
about
got to be loud.
especially important things.
All the
I
things that
mean,
we have learned as of late, if somebody don't start getting loud, this world is in trouble.
and it is in trouble already as it is. And I think we're being counted upon to light the way and bring as many souls home as we possibly can. Obviously, I mean, we know we're near what many of us would call the days of Noah or Revelation or the end times, however you may want to look at it. And just remember, it's never at the end. We
Mm-mm.
haven't even started yet, but we are living in those days, and we know that Babylon fell and Babylon will fall again,
Well,
and Babylon it covers a large variety of territory. Let me tell you.
and this is what I was talking about a while ago, where it tells you in the end times that there is a statue.
Why is my typing not right? I'm so sorry about that, by the way. Sorry to interrupt.
Um,
Everything I type is like something weird's going on. It
but
says
I
Sabrina
want
Suarez.
it tells you that in in the end, Jesus will come in on the clouds. All right. Well,
Power and great
when
glory.
when I tell you when I say cloud, what do you think of? You think of them white puffy things
Internet.
in the sky, right? But who's to say that Jesus wasn't coming on the internet in the cloud? Just because what it was said at one point, you can't narrow your mind to that could be the only way it could happen. Because
Especially because technology was there before. Yeah.
we don't
That's
know
the
that the concept that we have been programmed for the past 70 years to believe is one thing is another. Because, and I found this out today, I've always given the King James conversation that people need to figure out who that man was. And I had heard that he had other relationships with men and that he was having orgies where he held his dogs, and that's why his mother was beheaded. And this is the man that the crown decided to let edit the Bible. But there are actually letters between him and his lover that he made a duke and gave property. And he told the duke, thank you for my flowers. Anyway, that was a text. But yes, smoke can be a cloud. But we just need to make sure that the etymology and the concept of a word that we're reading from a book is exactly what we don't use your preconceptualized image. And this is where I come up with
don't
the
listen to anything
unicorn.
they've been told.
Well,
Aramaic was the earliest language.
well,
You start deciphering that from Aramaic to Hebrew. Even
yes.
that has huge variations. And then we go to English, to every other language. I mean, come on. You can't think for a second we had all that right. And especially considering who decided upon it. You know, I won't have to say that out loud. Most of you know that, but
Girl, you can say
yeah.
anything you want
So
to out loud
and
on my channel
choose,
because
decide.
I be talking about
Yeah,
them satanic pedophile baby eaters all the time and don't care if they don't like it.
that's right. And cuneiform tablets already had it written, thousands of years ago. But think about how many would have possibly already been sold on the black market, how many haven't been discovered, and how many are hidden in the Vatican underneath in a basement, and how many were destroyed
Girl,
and the Library of Alexandria, and who even knows what else. And we already know our troops went over to these countries to collect even more info and destroyed, and they say they returned some of it. Trust me, as being the wife of someone that was not only military first and then went the three-letter word, two different ones later, we were over there doing no good. I am just here to tell you we were up to no freaking good from
I
the
don't
get-go.
have any of those connections and I did not sign an NDA. So here you go. I'm gonna say what she ain't saying through the letters. Old girl that tried to be the head dog, HRC, she sent them boys
Yeah,
over there to Iraq because she was after Gilgamesh's resurrection chamber and that heifer got it. That's
they
exactly what
did.
she sent them over there for. And let me
They're
tell you,
resurrecting him right now.
well, um,
That's what they say.
there was this little man with a mustache that we talk about all the time.
What, a little
And
bitty one with the high heels? Yeah.
yeah, um, one of the first things he did when he went into any area that he was taking over was he sent his top soldiers in to take down Masonic lodges, churches, libraries, or museums. He wanted every artifact they had. And by the way, that brings up a thought I thought I'll show. We have, and I'm gonna give you a sneak peek at what the fun part of the show is gonna be tonight. You'll get a sneak peek of that right quick as I share this screen. We're going there,
There you
folks.
go.
We're going there.
Yep.
But a lot of you
So you
know that I tend to watch Ingersoll Lockwood for different varying things. Does anybody realize that the government set up a website called aliens.gov? When you go to Ingersoll Lockwood, and well, if you've watched me, you understand that. Hang on, let me zoom this down a little bit. If you go to Ingersoll Lockwood, as you can see from the picture of this craft, there's nothing down here to that little dot. But what you're missing is you got to click and drag. It's all there. You just got to see it.
wow.
If this
Mm,
is now a secret link that takes you to alien.gov, which it says the site can't be reached, but I do know that our government registered that site. But the really interesting part is this is the what you chose to show us that. That belongs to the little man in the mustache. If anybody doesn't know that, all the links
yeah.
to take you to the German museums about these crafts that they had in the 30s, the link is up here. I'll do a video on it one day and show you how to get there. There are link after link in these things right here. See that 17?
Hmm.
That takes you
Yep.
somewhere. And all you got to do is drag your mouse across. And when you see that? W lit up. And if you right click, it'll take you somewhere. This one is a White House page. Oh, that's some swing music. There's a lot of swing music on there. But that little man with the mustache and his people, that stuff that happened in Roswell, New Mexico, was completely connected to that picture you just saw on there. That is
Yeah.
called
It's been
the
around for a
Hanabu.
while.
Yeah. That Hanabu craft was already in that icy place called Antarctica. There are subterranean ways to get into Antarctica. What they're seeking is not on the
Yeah.
surface.
No.
And there it
Yeah,
goes
well,
again.
let's talk about how many tunnels are even here in the U.S. that lead all the way there. Not to mention all the way across our continent and further. And I mean, it's the subterranean is everywhere all day long. But Antarctica has always been hiding a secret because at one time it was lush and quite populated, but it is definitely, without a doubt, hiding a lot of secrets, lots of technology. I don't even know that the technology is hidden to be exact, because if you think about it, I mean, it's probably been everywhere for ages from the beginning, but it was probably first right
W-
in there is where I think.
Well, I truly believe one of the only reasons we ever stuck our nose in World War II was we were after Operation Paperclip. We
Oh,
were after
hundred
scientists
percent, hundred
because
percent, 100%. Yes,
you're not going to
yes.
tell me that, okay, these devices, and yes, sir, I did know what you just texted me. I was getting there. Give me a moment, sir. I'm working on it, boss. Give me a minute. I got to get there.
Oh, snap.
I'm having a
Put them up.
conversation
Put them
on the
up.
cell
Put them up
phone.
in here.
Boss man's over here telling me something.
Get
That
them up here. Put them on.
he's not coming on here. We'll talk about that later. But that
Okay.
craft that kind of goes against the off grid. But that craft I showed you. Do you know how those crafts are powered, Lisa?
Frequencies.
Mm-mm.
Frequency, crystalline frequency is what my thoughts are. But
Red mercury. You've been told your whole life that red mercury didn't exist. There are
yeah,
pyramids that sit over lakes of mercury. If you take red mercury and you put it in a centrifugal spin, it will literally make whatever it is spinning in weightless. Weightless.
hmm,
In the middle of that craft right there is a circular, like magnetron device, and
right.
kind of like a CERN or a Hadron Collider. But if you spin it fast enough, you can do 5 Gs, hang a right turn, and none of the occupants inside of it will ever feel it.
Didn't realize that had to do with red mercury, but I did actually hear about mercury. And then, well, let's think about how the Malaysia flight disappeared, and then the things that were surrounding it, and it just suddenly blatantly vanishes. But I've spent the majority of my last 15 years filming these crafts, all these crafts, with these little black solid orb things. A lot of people, or especially a man in California that dubbed it tagging dragons, they're not being tagged. They are projecting the imagery of the craft. The crafts are not, in my opinion, and trust me, I've spent hours upon end for 15 years scrubbing it in slow mo, transferring it into different phototypes, using so many different filters you can't even imagine, contrasting,
You need to
negative,
see David.
exposure.
You need to see David Beverly's, the guy that was on our show yesterday. He actually has footage of them, and he's got it slowed
I
down
do
at
too.
such a,
I have hundreds of videos of it,
yeah, his
which
frame
is
rate is
how I started
fantastic.
studying it. So I would love to get with him and see what he, because I mean, he probably understands what I'm saying. They're not being tagged, and they spin these circles, but they also just kind of come out, and there's usually multiples. Sometimes there might be two, sometimes four that you can see and capture. But if you start scrubbing that slow mo, and I guarantee you, then David knows what I'm speaking of, you can see that they're using a technology, and my own thought is that they are holographic, which is, and this goes with just not just the things like what I see every day of my life for the last 15 years, the orbs in the sky. It goes with what people call ghosts. It goes with Bigfoot. It goes with the Loch Ness monster. It goes with any type of entity or being, or supernatural occurrence. You're going to always see one of these orbs floating by somewhere. And look at people's videos when they show you, like, look what I got. Just pay no attention to what they captured and look on the sidelines. You're going to see one of those orbs always floating by, always. Whether it be a ghost, whether it be Hatman, whether it be Glitterman, whether it be Mothman, whether it be a UAP or a UFO or an A freaking BC, I don't even care. Those are present in almost every single video and situation. You can almost always point them out, find them, and they are playing a role, not tagging those crafts, not because they wouldn't be in these other factors, these other videos involving other supernatural things, but they are affecting the ability to capture anything in clarity and creating what I think is a smoke screen, and I know because there'll be times when I go to capture, and again, I'm a private investigator. I have high tech equipment that I use, especially with night vision, because a lot of times my subjects, most people cheat at night. They do bad things at night, whether they're committing murder or crime. You got to have a very high tech camera that captures in a very clear night vision mode and has a zoom like no tomorrow. If I'm taking this camera and I'm zooming into the moon and I'm seeing one of those orbs or dragons, whatever they want to call them, because that's not what they are, but you see them in every scenario. That's one thing I do know. I can vouch for that. And through process of elimination, I have tried to go, okay, would it make sense that why would they be tagging these craft, a regular just helicopter or aircraft, or and the man in California filming out on out in the bay, and I get it, I get why he sees it that way because it's his perception, but take the time, slow it down, look at all of this, then go into your Bigfoot captures. There, everything's blurry, right? Everything's blurry, but they create a smoke screen. Those heavy metals, that aluminum, strontium, barium, all of those that we know are raining down on our parade. And trust me, someone like me that's sick, it is. But that's also creating a smoke screen because that aluminum is reflecting back at you, so they can hide behind that. They are utilizing that. So whatever's, let's say ejecting this technology is hiding behind a smoke screen. In my opinion, they're using the reflection or the reflective aspect of these heavy metals to create a smoke screen. They can hide behind it. So, and trust me, I know, because there's been times where it's bright enough outside, but all of a sudden I'm videoing, it gets really dark, and when you take that film and you look at it, you even try to lighten it, you'll see like a dark red, misty haze around it. Again, in my opinion, that's your heavy metals that's masking, and literally it's creating the veil that people talk about, and it is quite literally just technology. It is not supernatural on that aspect. I'm not saying that there's not supernatural, because there is, so for real is. I've seen light beings walk straight through brick walls, which is also on my channel. I've seen a lot, but it's every day, no matter where I go. But you start doing the math, you start looking at other videos, you start looking at their accounts, and you take every account into mind and you keep it there, because everyone has different perception, but the one common denominator is it's always blurry, almost always blurry. And if it's clear, well, that there's something to that too, because I have high-tech equipment and I haven't got any clear footage ever. But there's a smoke screen there, and it's being utilized on top of the fact that these things are not tagging. I believe they're circling around like a projector. They can portray the image, make it look like a solid Black Hawk helicopter, or which I get flown over by small aircraft daily. Trust me on that one, for years. But I believe that I'm looking at my flight finder, right? I've got all these apps for flight finder, everything else. I'm using all the technology I can think of to, like, well, where's the aircraft? It's not showing up on radar. It's not here. It's not there. We don't have to have them show up on radar, but every time, first and foremost, process of elimination. Okay, so that right there tells you something, but then I can't get a clear picture, but I know I saw what I saw. I know it flew right over me at a low altitude, buzzed my head, heard it in my house, because they can also mimic things. They can create the sound level that goes with it. And trust me, it sounds real, it looks real. And again, this is my opinion, but I don't think it's always a solid, that's what it is. I believe that it is a projected imagery along with, well, it's technology we've had for a long time, and we've utilized it on other countries for a long time, but they just don't advertise it because it makes sense that they wouldn't. Why would they?
Have you
But
seen
it's not
that?
like it's real.
What is the movie? Now You See Me. The one with the magicians, got Woody Harrelson in it. I'm a Woody Harrelson
I
head. I
did,
like Woody.
yes. And it is all
Did
trick
you
of
see
the
the
trick of
second
the.
one? Did you see the second
I
one?
didn't know.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
When the second one first comes on, and this will give, if it's hard to imagine what we're talking about, projecting this imagery. Um because see, this is one of the things I first questioned when Charlie was, I questioned as to whether Charlie was even there. But if you watch
Yeah,
that
if he
movie,
was.
if you watch that movie, when it first opens up, you see the magicians in that movie. They're on stage, and you see this whole act play out. Then you realize a couple of seconds later, there was nobody on stage. It is literally a film, which looks like saran wrap, folks. It looks like that plastic they used to put on overhead projectors, but it goes ceiling to floor. They have a projector behind it, which projects onto it and gives you a 3D image, which you feel completely confident that is there.
Right.
And
Well, heavy metals, a whole sheet of that raining down would do the same thing,
yeah, a whole lot of
right?
glitter. Has anybody out there ever questioned why we keep having a glitter shortage? And when you ask the glitter companies why they don't have any glitter, they tell you they can't tell you who's buying them. So if you
I
can't
didn't
tell me
notice
who's
that.
buying it, that means it's got three letters in it.
And it's aluminum. I mean, glitter is aluminum. And fine particles, it only makes sense. But I mean, I see it because it's on my body all the time. It comes out of my skin daily. A lot of them called biosensors, which I do believe a lot of those glitter hexagonal flecks of what looks and appears to be glitter. That's how I see it. I've got hundreds of videos on that as well. But they call them biosensors, very small computer chips or pieces, and which is it's not even possible. It's been done, being done. We all know that. Nanotechnology is as real as it gets, but these things in the sky, and yes, I will have to say, is it Truth Company?
Truth code.
If I'm saying
That's
that right,
Diana.
very clear footage on the orbs as well. Again, I have this camera that I use for surveillance. And first of all, how in the hell, excuse my French, am I able to zoom all the way into the moon, see every freaking geographical feature on that moon, every single crevice, every single this and that, given the distance? But it gets better. We have a sun that's supposedly 96 million miles away. And I can take that same Sony 4K Handycam and zoom all the way into the surface of the sun, which does actually show these massive solar ejections, eruptions coming off of it. But it also shows other oddities that should not be there, very much flying around, telling you that sun is not as hot as they say. Which, by the way, if you get on Everest, you climb up there, you freeze to death. If you down here on Earth, you burn to death. Everyone's like, well, that's because, got the solid blah, blah, blah. Science might tell you that, but common sense tells you bullshit. Sorry, excuse my French.
You don't have
There,
to
there
excuse.
is
You don't have to
so
excuse
much.
French on the Roxy.
Thank goodness, because I want the world to know that what we've been fed is what we base our perspective off of. Why we see what we do, because we've been told what we're seeing our entire lives, and what we're feeling and how we're feeling it. But truth be told, all you got to do is be still and listen to your body, your mind, your soul, the discernment that you were born with, because it's there, and know for a fact that that crap was wrong. But then you'll start getting the flyovers. You'll start seeing the orbs plain as day. Everywhere you go, you're going to see them. You're going to get small aircraft flying over. You're going to get Black Hawks, especially Black Hawks with this girl. You're going to get shiny black vehicles or white vehicles, clean, squeaky clean, whether it's raining out or not. They're going to follow you everywhere. And you're going to question your sanity momentarily until you realize it's happening. But the thing is, again, projected imagery is very possible. And especially if you took an oath like me, married to who I was, saying I'd never say a word. And then the moment I left him and opened my mouth the first time, even the smallest of it, that's when my world started changing. But I think the common denominator, Roxy, with all of us is rock bottom. You cut loose from all the ties to this world, the earthly levels that made you like everyone else or tried to make you like everyone else. You always were different. You were born different. You always knew better, but you tried to fit in. But for whatever reason, the rug kept getting ripped right out from under you. You never fit in. School never made sense. You were very smart, but you probably sat in the corner 90% of the time, like myself. You got scolded for things you didn't do wrong, for just thinking outside the box. Am I right? And I know
I've been
Roxy was
slapped
that
with a
girl
ruler
too.
so much.
Girl, I had more swats and I was like 32 pounds in kindergarten. I've always been a dinky, built like a 2x4. I'm not even kidding, no matter which way you pose me. Yeah, just that. And I was always in trouble because I would ask questions. Do not ask questions. And you and I talked about that. You got in trouble, and even on your report cards like mine, saying she asked too many questions. Most of these people here, if not all of them, same thing. I'm gonna put my bets there. I mean, I'm telling you.
I'm
But
gonna
there's
put
a
up the moon
reason
pictures.
you're experiencing this, because you are awake, aware, and it was just a matter of time before you became that way. But rock bottom was the common ground. We all hit so hard, it jolted us into an awakening. And I'm telling you, based on a series of unfortunate events, possibly, but you're awake and aware for a reason, because you were placed here with purpose. There it is, right there.
Um, see this, Clayton? I was telling Clayton earlier I wanted him to look at that. Does everybody see that? That is not
Oh, you
manipulated. That was taken from my iPhone 16 Pro last night. This was taken from my phone. This is a combination of all the crazy moons that me, Diana, and Daniel got last night. Whose was this? I don't remember whose was this. Was this mine or yours? I think that was mine.
That one was yours because mine was facing the other way. That one's yours as well. That's the one I contrasted because it looks weird below. I want to tell Truth Company, I wasn't talking about the orbs being the heavy metals at all. Not the orbs. I'm talking about the black things that they call dragons that circle around craft, not the orbs. So just to clarify.
All right, this is in Texas. Everybody see how small that sliver is? See how big mine is?
And the shape and the way it's facing.
Yeah, and mine was leaning more to the right.
And mine was
Lisa's looked
going
like
left.
it was dead even in the bottom.
And then it went left later on. So yeah, that it's bizarre.
Yeah.
And
It,
you have Daniels on there also, right?
I think so. I don't know if I emailed it or not. It may be on the group photo.
Yeah, they
Mm,
were all there. It is. So it's in there. So mine are to the right, yours are to the left. Daniel's is actually that one right at the bottom, I guess the very bottom of, well, the very lowest one, right under all of my four of them. But they're all different. None of them are the same.
and part of them were taken in Texas, and the rest of them were taken in South Carolina. And
It's
they were
crazy.
all taken within a few minutes of each other because Lisa and I were actually on the phone when we're taking these photos.
Yeah. And first of all, we already know our moon phases, and that Cheshire cat grin moon is not ever, ever in a million years has it ever been on the phases of the moon, especially not the third phase of the moon. Okay, no pun intended. But quite literally, like we've never had a moon with its phase looking or shaped like a Cheshire cat's grin. It's never been. It didn't exist, but it does now. But
If
these meteors that are falling here too. I mean, I've seen it firsthand. There's
if
some
you take your
crazy stuff.
iPhone and go to your thing and it like where your weather and stuff's at, if you go on there, it'll give you an image of what the moon phases are coming. It did when
Yeah.
you go look it up, it said that was supposed to be on the right-hand side, not the bottom. Like my phone, the weather station,
Yeah.
the news, everybody said it should have been a right if you're looking at it, it would have been a right-hand side sliver. No, sweet cheeks, that was all at the bottom. It was like somebody had turned a lamp on from the
Yeah.
bottom of that sapsucker.
Which tells you we're experiencing a pole shift, a complete, our equator line has moved. There, I mean, in my opinion, our whole Earth is off its rocker. That's my opinion, but there's something way off, and
I think that is a
way to
biblical off its rocker at this point.
100%, yes. Yeah, anyone that's familiar with biblical scripture knows, and the signs will be in the sun, the moon, and the stars, and on earth perplexity upon nations, and the roaring of the seas, the tossing of the waves, and all these things that are coming upon the world. And I know I just meshed a whole bunch in there, but it's all there, every bit of it. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your old men will dream dreams. Your young men will have visions. Nobody will listen to sound doctrine anymore. There will be an awakening, and people will literally, it's then that they'll see the Son of Man coming in that cloud or clouds with power and great glory in every eye, not just one or two, every eye. So I'd like to know how every eye can see him at the same time if the earth is round. And again, I'm not a flat earther or a round earther because I don't guess it really matters, but I fly a lot. And I'm telling you, I don't see any curvature when I fly ever at 30,000 feet or 36,000 feet.
If
But
the earth, if there was not a firmament above us, you would not have to lower the flight deck to 14,000 feet when you get close to Antarctica.
you wouldn't have a rainbow either because
That's
it's,
right. Welcome to
you
the
know,
snow globe, baby. Welcome to the snow
you're
globe.
welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, it is. There is a firmament, and the Lord said He stretched it over us like a tent
To
from
separate
one
the
end of the earth
waters.
to the other, just like Assyria, that was a big tree where it could be seen from one end of the earth to the other. These mountains, buttes, and bluffs, again, it is just my opinion, but it makes only sense where the Bible is not just metaphorical. I believe much of the Bible was quite literal, and Assyria was, in fact, a big tree and did grow huge, wide, and strong and could be seen from one end of the earth to the other. And it only makes sense to me. I grew up in New Mexico with these red mesas and buttes and bluffs and rolling contrast images of pinks and burgundies and every other color you could imagine. But I would always see that these cedar trees or pinon trees, pine trees of any sort next to them, and then I'd find pieces of the petrified portion. And I'm talking, I was little. I've known this since I was little bitty. Nobody, like, I don't care what science says. Like, when you know, you know. And I would watch these petrified pieces coming out of those same buttes and bluffs, but coming out like a broken off branch, but being solid as a rock, but with all the same tears and structure of what it would have looked like as raw wood. And if you get on your old ancient maps, on those maps, look at the 1800s version, 1700s versions of your maps. It doesn't show mountains. It shows freaking tree stumps that were chopped down because they were, like God said, cut it down, but leave the stump and its roots in the ground with a band of iron and clay around it, which is what you see when you look at these mesas, buttes, bluffs, plateaus. You're going to see this orange band of iron and bronze, and you test it, that's exactly what it is. And what they want to say is, oh, there's an absence of this or that, and the only difference between a mesa and a plateau is its size, blah, blah, blah. They're wrong. They've had it wrong from the get-go. Whenever you live in a world back then, and the whole oxygen level was different. Let's just put it this way. Layman's
Amen.
terms. Everything was different. Nothing was the same. Have you ever had a goldfish and thrown it into a pond? Have you ever seen the size that that little goldfish will become? It becomes massive as by itself.
And in
But
reverse.
I mean, it's just scientific, knowledge here, since they want to go with that. The more populated things, the more popular we become, the smaller things will become because, well, Mother Earth has a way of just working that out for
Well,
us, as
oxygen
does God.
levels.
But
Well,
the
when
oxygen levels, which explains the silicon trees, and some of them, there's so much. It's just so
when
obvious.
they've sampled amber, when amber is contained, there's
On the trees.
oxygen inside of the amber bubble. When they have
Hmm.
tested that oxygen, it was way greater than the quantity of oxygen we've got now. A
There were
animal,
giants in those days,
well, and an
so
animal that would have been on the size of a T-Rex, a dragon.
lizard,
Yeah, a
in
big
my opinion.
lizard with wings that has the
Hmm.
exact same skeletal structure as an ostrich, by the way, folks. If you don't know that, go look it up.
Yeah,
They would
I
have
mean,
not
I'm
been able
telling you,
to survive in this
throw them as
oxygen.
neutrons. So
Yeah.
you betcha. I mean, and again, people are like, "Well, dinosaurs are BS." Yeah, they are, because what do you think those lizards had to eat off of? The giant trees, and there were giants in those days. Clearly stated, there were giants. Many of them petrified all around us, not just the mountains. Some of those mountains
Well,
are petrified giants. It
and
is
those giants
obvious.
got smaller and smaller and smaller.
And smaller. And
But,
because of why the more populated, Mother Earth has a crazy way of working that out to
well,
contain.
and when you
So
think about
everybody's
the
like, our resources are going to go away. Bull crap. No, we'll just get smaller even more.
well, when you think about these mountains and plateaus that we see, um, Devil's Tower, whatever, that was a tree stump. You have
Without
to
a
think
doubt.
about the quantity of oxygen that a tree that size would have put off. And if and I'm gonna leave this out there, I believe we live on a flat earth with a firmament. You don't have nobody has
Yes.
to believe what I believe. But
Oh, I'm right there with you.
if you take a terrarium and you got it full of greenery and all of a sudden you just whack all the greenery off, it is going to screw up the whole ecosystem.
Ecosystem, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're taking
And that's
trees
what
that are the size
happened.
of mountains.
I mean, the flood plateaued a lot of those trees. We'll go ahead and say it. But I mean, also there is for certain biblical scripture that the Lord commanded the
Smooth
fall
off.
or the angels, cut it down, but leave the band of iron and clay in the ground. Like leave the roots. And I have so many videos on the ancient biblical trees. If you go to my channel, the very first one I have pinned at the top is Ancient Biblical Trees Don't Lie. It's right there for the taking. I go into the basically the breakdown and the decomposition of trees, hence volcanism. I go into the roots, what they want to call magmatic, caves or whatever, the caves that we have under, those are our ancient root systems. The underground riverways that, those root systems drank from. Caves only make sense. I guarantee you, where you guys see a cave, there is a structure above there somewhere in massive size. Looks like maybe a mountain, a plateau, a butte, or a bluff, or maybe just a little bit of just shaved off nothing, but there's enough hump there that underneath where you're going and you love caving, right? I love adventure. I love to go caving. But those caves are the roots, the portion of the roots that delved deep into the earth. So you're caving and you're finding your gold, your amber, your coal, your precious gems, which only makes sense. And me being from New Mexico, I've found so many petrified pieces with these precious gems, which are surrounding that whole piece. Or the Eye of the Sahara. They say the Eye of the Sahara has these rings. Everyone knows the roots of a tree are having the oldest portion of that tree being in the very center. And as that tree grows with each year and age, it transitions to a new ring around it. Well, the Eye of the Sahara, they say, well, the middle of the Sahara, obviously and oddly enough, has the rocks in the middle are older than those going outward. And it's just like, what is the matter with these dummies? Oh, yeah, that's right, because they don't want you to know your Lord. They don't want you to know your God. They want you to know anything but that. And they'll tell you exactly everything but that, because that's all they want us to hear. Because if we get on the right track, can you imagine the damage we could do? I mean, they're no dummies, but the Eye of the Sahara is very obviously tree roots, a tree stump, or however you want to call it, with the very center being the earliest or the oldest portion of that tree in each ring around, as they stated. And when you go to look up the definition, they're like, well, they don't know too much about it. In fact, they say, well, it could be back when Pangea was this and it was ripped apart and blah, blah, blah. And everything goes back to volcanic and magmatic and volcanic and magmatic. And they can't ever move past that. Or, the tectonic plates just shifted and farted a portion right into the air. Look straight up like a cone, like they say about Devil's
Well,
Tower or any of those others.
and see,
And it's bull.
I've had to learn this concept as all of this has come about and we've learned everything. We also have to understand that the scientists, not saying that some of them aren't just plain down evil to the core. I can name a few. I give you a couple
I
of them.
just use science for some
One
of
of them
that.
ends
So
with
yeah,
Gates and the other one's in a wheelchair. Them two is some monster scientists. But
yep.
when you think about maybe the non-monster scientists, when you think about them, you have to think about how they were educated. And this being such an indoctrined system, you've got
It's a
middle
whole
school
thing.
teachers now that are teaching science that is completely bullcrap. It's just bullcrap.
Yeah.
And like the whole evolution theory, it's bullcrap. But they keep teaching it because that's what they were taught to teach. That's what they were taught when they were in school. And you got all these
Handed
normies
down from generation to
and
generation.
they never
Yeah.
question it. See, that's why I got in trouble in school. I was all the time
Well,
asking
if they
questions.
do, they're going to be the odd man out. They're going to be made fun of and bullied like we were, right? And you don't fit in if you question. Nobody wants that. Well, except for a few of us that didn't give a crap. But yeah, that's exactly right. nobody questions it because indoctrination is real, very real, and it's not been just since the 1800s. It's happened for centuries, and manipulation is also the devil's,
Paul
greatest
Harvey.
magical trick.
If I were the devil,
Yeah,
anybody out there who's never listened to Paul Harvey to get the rest of the story, I beg you to
I
go
love
listen to.
Harvey.
I love Paul Harvey. I could just listen to him talk all day.
Me too.
But go listen to Paul Harvey if I were the devil. And we always try to to sum up the show with some laughter, and we're gonna get there, folks. But they're sticking it right up under your nose. And I know that most of our viewers are well aware of this, and all of you
Hidden
are,
in plain sight.
yep, hidden in plain sight. You're well aware of it. So, our fun hidden in plain sight for tonight, we're going to talk about Elvis the Pelvis.
Yeah, that one blew my mind. For real.
Elvis is not dead, folks. And what brought this up in conversation between me and Lisa today was, does anybody know where our president went today? He went to Graceland.
Roxy told me.
He went to Graceland. Now, why? Why would a president go to Graceland? Like, he could go there anytime he's ever wanted to up until this point in life, but all of a sudden he decided to visit Graceland. If you do not know who Bob Joyce is, you should check out who Bob Joyce is. Because,
Yeah.
as Lisa will tell you, because when I told Lisa this, of course,
I was like, what?
she went to doing her Lisa thing and she was comparing and doing the facial comparing. But, yeah, Elvis ain't dead, baby. He's still preaching in Arkansas.
Yeah, I was shocked because you know me. I when as an investigator, I investigate. I don't take anything for face value, and I'm just like, so that's why there was a long pause before I got back with you. I'm like sitting here, I'm like doing the math, doing the facial features,
She's probably
connecting where
saying, is
the
she
ear level
smoking
lies, the
something?
eyes. Yeah, I'm just like, okay, no, I'm gonna see no, because I have always believed that there's many, let's say, celebrities that are still living or that are not living but are living, because I do also believe in cloning, and I do believe that we've been doing that for millennia as well, but not necessarily reincarnation. I wouldn't call it that because I know that the Lord strictly, has said you're having one life and it's what you make of it. But I'm not saying that, technology hadn't done that or the fallen haven't achieved that, because they most certainly, in my opinion, have. But look at that. I mean, all of what she just showed, you could put this man's face side by side, which I have, measure the ear level from the cheek line. Then from the cheek line, and you can do this, you can take a measurement tool that's easily and readily available and measure the cheek line to the chin line. Measure the distance of the pointy part of the chin. You can measure the eyes. Of course, you can calculate in, age with it. There's going to be some falling and drooping. Hello, me. But you can see mathematically, and as far as the levels and links and the equational level of where everything's placed, it's accurate, it's perfect, which is what blew my mind. And not to mention, they talk exactly alike.
Well, just an
Ellis
F.
is in the building, folks. So
Well, Bob Joyce, the pastor, just happens to be married to Elvis's girlfriend. Um, and they have a child, and there's his child. That is his son.
yeah, does he
If
look familiar or
genetics
what?
alone don't tell you alone that that is
Yeah,
Elvis, I don't know what to tell you, folks. But
I mean, it speaks wonders.
yeah, Bob, Mr. Joyce, Bob Elvis, whatever you want to call him, he is a pastor in Arkansas. He is on YouTube and he has some amazing sermons. I know a lot of us don't want to go to churches or be conformed to organized religion, but if you want to listen to a good message, go listen to Pastor Bob Joyce on YouTube. He's got some good ones on there. He's got some music. Um, and Elvis is not a shapeshifter, Clayton.
No, no. Actually, I never believed he was dead. I didn't know what exactly what. I don't
Well,
even think Michael Jackson
Clayton,
was
I'll
dead,
have
but
to I have to give you the information I have off air, but I'm not willing to air that on here because I don't know that I have clearance to air that on here. But
I'm trying
um
to read some of those comments, by the way. And
um
Clayton on
the page
the
is down.
comments on the trees.
Yeah, I
What's
went
that?
back that page I gave you earlier to go read those comments, and we couldn't get the page to pull up. The page is down.
Yeah,
I went to the Wayback Machine, and I'm trying to find an old copy. But
that's exactly what I did. I had to resource,
yeah,
because when I clicked on it, I got nothing. But
I'll give you some of that information off air, Clayton. But from the time that Elvis's body was removed from, or the body that was said to be Elvis, we'll put it that way to clarify, in 1977, until Pastor Bob Joyce started preaching, there was another occupation in there. And we're going to change the subject for safety's sake. But there are people who um, work for those agencies that have those many letters in them. And a lot of those people had insight to things like we're in, P. Diddy and
yeah,
those kind of things. And so,
Epstein and any of that.
yeah, some of those people that worked for those agencies that used to be really famous, sometimes fame gets really hard. And when you see the ultimate sin and betrayal and gluttony of fame, you decide you don't want to be in it anymore, that you want to be one of the good guys. So, um, yeah, there was, superhero cape worn for a while on the DL. But this is the thing about being hidden in plain sight. If you were still alive, but you didn't want to be spotted, what would be the best way to do that? Get a whole globe of people that want to be impersonators of you. Just think about it.
There you go.
If you see
And there
somebody at the
were
grocery store and you
thousands
go,
that
"Oh,
are.
he looks just like Elvis." Oh no, I'm just an impersonator. Sure you are.
It sure does make you scratch your nuggets. That's all I can say. There's a lot of questions that when we should be asking more of them and not accepting what's been fed to us because we have had so much. But discernment lives within. You can feel it and hear it in your gut and your heart. It's there. You just have to be still long enough and know that
Well, see,
He is
girl,
God.
I was shook when
Uh,
I figured out Tupac was still alive. If anybody don't know, Tupac lives in Cuba. So does Biggie. Ain't
so
neither one of them fools dead. Michael Jackson ain't
not
dead.
surprised.
Who else?
Not
Well,
surprised, needless to say, but
I'm
wow.
I'm really questioning Prince. I don't think Prince is dead. Um, who is my other one? I think that's about it. All I've got on pretty much, confirmations of people that ain't in a box. Tupac, Biggie, Elvis,
Yeah,
Michael Jackson, and Prince at the moment.
so
Entertainment
many
industry
questions
that
and weird stuff.
needed to get out. Because I can tell you there's one thing that Prince did not do. He did not do drugs. That man was all about clean living
He
and
was the one that talked about chemtrails live, yeah, in front of the whole
mhm,
world, right?
and the only reason they wanted him dead was to get their hands on his music. Just like Michael Jackson, just like our boy Elvis. They
You
wanted what
betcha.
they had, and when they said no, they were willing to take them out. So when you know you're about to be taken out, kind of like old Charlie boy, I still think Charlie's in Valhalla, and I think Valhalla is an island. I don't think it's with the Vikings, but we're gonna see about that.
Yeah, for sure. And hey, Clayton, because I agree with a lot of what he said, I'm gonna paste this the ancient biblical tree. One of them, I have lots of them, but I'm gonna paste this video on here, and you tell me what you think, because I mean I'm right there with you, and I mean I'm not saying all the caves and all this or that, but you can pretty much look and see. It's I mean it's in scripture, and he knows it is, but I think I just posted
You did.
the link to my ancient biblical tree one, and I only say that because I myself am super interested in what other people. I mean, I have buried myself in this. And again, growing up in New Mexico, I could see all around me as a young child that what I was looking at was not at all what they said. From the time I was itty bitty, I would play all day long, from sunup till sundown and after dark, even back when our parents never wondered where we were, if we might be harmed or somebody took us. But
It's 10 p.m.
I
Where are your children at?
tell you, I was always an outdoorsy girl, always a tomboy, always nature, and very, very um, in tune with the things around me and what God made. And there's just so many things that just,
Well, see,
you
when
know,
we start talking about the giant,
decomposition, anyone that knows that. So
when we start talking about giant trees, and you look at these places like Devil's Tower and Mount Pilot and places like that, these mountains are rock. The biggest granite quarry in the world is in Mount Airy, North Carolina, which is almost within eyeshot of Mount Pilot. You can see
or the
this
Grand
granite
Canyon.
quarry from outer space.
Yeah. Yes.
I need just permanent quote marks above my head. Outer space.
Just put them in there. Put one on each corner here.
Yeah, just put it as a screen overlay with blinky quotation marks.
That would be actually good.
It
That's
probably
funny.
would. Probably keep us out of trouble, me and my mouth.
Yeah, well, you saw the quotations. Come on
You
now,
I
don't,
was I
because my
was
channel's been shut down quite a few times, so it
I
ain't
need
my
to
first rodeo.
you know what? I should put a sign back here behind my head that says it's just a theory, man. It's just a theory.
Wait a minute. For entertainment purposes only, because
Don't
I
get your
am always
drawers in a
wrong.
bunch.
Censorship is only right. Censorship's the only thing that's ever right. So
Yeah.
for real.
Don't
That's
get
why I
your
said, I mean, yeah, I'm not
pennies
saying I'm
into
telling
it.
the truth or it's real. Censorship is real though, so that's the only way I haven't got shut down recently. But had a lot of subscribers at one time. But
I
the algorithm and censorship are not your friends. I can tell you
Oh
that.
no, I had one of the shorts the other day that I put up when the storm was running in. It got like 1,000 views in just a couple of hours. But I
And it
didn't
changed, didn't it?
not a single subscriber change on the channel or anything.
Mine has stayed the exact same number, 2,500 something, for about 2 years now since I started it back up. Numbers aren't reflecting, but I'll be sitting right beside a passenger on an airplane that I just met and watch them subscribe literally multiple times because I fly a lot for my job and I'm very well traveled, which is why I know exactly what the terrain outside that airplane window looks like at 30,000 feet. Neither here nor there, but I mean, I'm watching people subscribe. I'm having people stop me saying, I know you, you're waking God's child, and I'm a subscriber on your channel. And I'm like, really? Because the numbers don't reflect a single one of you for the last 2-3 years.
Mm-mm.
So
And like
we know
my
how this works.
my
So
analytics keep doing this very slow creep up. And I know it's BS because I look at the live viewers and it
yeah,
doesn't make sense.
it doesn't. And I mean, Daniel could probably vouch for that as well. There's definitely some manipulation going on because the thing I know for a fact in my heart, though, I don't even care about what the numbers say because I know people are watching, people are tuning in, and those numbers are not accurate. And it doesn't matter because if you're reaching even one soul, two souls, or anyone that might have just had their attention sparked, that's enough. That's great. That's what we're looking for. We're not looking for fame or definitely
No.
not looking to get rich. I've never been, on any
No.
monetized. They would never monetize me, but I never even
Listen.
tried.
Listen,
So
Lisa, our current total of expenditure for our shows since January 1st has now crossed the $2,500 mark, folks. The California trip counts because we're going to California to film content for these
going
shows.
back to Cali, to Cali, to
Yeah, we're at like the
Cali. Yeah.
$2,500 mark. It's going to take YouTube 10 years to pay us back for that. We're not looking for money. But you know
I've
what?
never made a dime off of it, and I
There's
don't
not a
try,
damn
but
soul that pulls
it's
our strings. There is no puppet master with his hand up our derriere.
that's exactly. I work a full time, 14-hour days a lot of times. Usually 7 days, 6 days. If I'm lucky, like this week, it's been 4 days this week that I've worked, but I still work 16 hours, on a lot of those. But I mean, the rest of the time, what do? I put my time into social media. Not there's no compensation, but you know what I'm getting out of it? something that comes later and something that's fulfilling now. Because if it touches one soul, a single soul in any way, I don't care if it changes their mind, it's leaving a mark. It's making them question, that it's making them look harder and seek further, and that's enough. But
Well, and
imagine what a group of us could do, you know? That's
well,
the
and
best
not
part.
only that, I mean, there's so many of us out there, like we were talking about, that are isolated or insulated, and you
Yeah.
feel alone. But this is where you can come when we're
Here.
online, and we can talk together. And nobody in here says that we got horns growing out of our head. Like, I mean, I got a daughter that's not awake, and my 9-year-old grandbaby is wide awake. And she looked at her mama and gave her mama the dinosaur dragon talk the other day. My
Oh,
daughter's
gone. I
not
don't know if
awake.
you guys can hear me. There you are. Thank goodness. You were gone for.
There you go. I don't know. It's locking up. I don't know what's causing it.
Oh, now I'm gone. Oh my gosh.
You're gone. You're back. You're gone. You're back. I
Hello,
watched you on.
goodbye.
Hello. Goodbye.
See, I
It's the
wouldn't
puff
want to
puff
be here.
pastime, everybody. It's puff puff pastime.
Yeah, Roxy, thank you for having me on tonight and
Thank you for coming on. This was your
putting up
idea.
my. Sometimes I'm searching for the words, and usually that happens too. It's like I can all day long school somebody with a good vocab and come on here sometimes, and it's like something just like I can't get it out. It's not coming out right. So
It'll come out when it's meant to come out.
kind of like a fart. I'm just kidding. I'm not really kidding. I thought that
See,
was funny.
see,
So
I actually seen a meme the other day that said something I said back during that pandemic when everybody had them, things on their face. I said, "So you mean to tell me that you gonna put basically a nasty paper towel made in an Indonesian factory with somebody's feet? I don't know if you've ever seen them videos. You should
right,
go watch them. But you're gonna put this over your face, and
or
it's
in
gonna stop a
your
microscopic
hoo-ha.
virus.
Yeah, because I
But
mean the hoo-ha stuff's made the same way. Just
first
saying.
off, blue jeans do not stop a fart. Why would this stop anything? Just saying.
That was
I mean,
awesome.
that should be the only sound reasoning you need that a mask is not going to work.
I'm
Blue
making a
jeans will
T-shirt that
not
says,
stop a fart.
I am totally making a T-shirt with a mask on it that says, "Blue jeans won't stop a fart." What do you think this is doing
What
for
do
you?
you think that thing's going to do?
That's,
It was
that's
made
good
in an
stuff.
Indonesian factory with some
Oh my
dude's
gosh.
feet holding it.
I have a warped sense of humor, but I'm so glad to see I am not alone on that journey.
Corinne, I have a dark sense of humor. I just try not to let
Uh,
the dark
yeah.
side come out on here anymore.
My mind went there before yours. I'm just glad that you got on that bus with me because,
I'm on the
like
bus, girl.
Sharon,
I'm driving. I am
like
recruiting
Sharon said, like
passengers,
struggle bus is
everybody, on the
real.
bus. The crazy bus is headed home.
Shannon
We're all going to.
puts it better than anyone. Um, the struggle bus is real, and she is going to get something very soon that is going to be gifted to her that says that because it is so accurate. Let me tell you.
See, I actually have a metal sign. I found it at a thrift store, and I actually saw it online, and I went to get it, and I thought it was authentic, but it was not. But it's huge. It comes up to about my rib cage. I'm 5'5", so it's probably what, 3 foot tall, 2.5, 3 foot
You're
tall. It's
teeny,
huge.
yeah.
On the front of it, it says mental hospital. I think it says Women's Evaluation Center, Ward B. If you guys could see my office door, which I don't know, maybe I can turn the computer. Nope, you can't see it.
And
There's a
you're five
sign on.
five five, you said? If that?
Yeah, it's huge.
That's funny.
I actually hang it outside of the house, and I intend to put this one up by the road of our long driveway. Hello, lovely. We see you in there. Shannon's
Love
with us
that.
now. But I'm gonna
Where?
put this sign
Oh,
up,
there's
that says Mental Evaluation Center for Women, Ward B. So everybody's warned. Just don't even come on the property.
Don't goodbye. Don't even bother.
No, we are straight up cray cray in here, honey. We got straight jackets and lithium. Come at your
I'm
own
so glad
peril.
because I needed an extra jacket. I've been wearing one by myself for a while, but I've worn the damn thing out. So
Girl, as much as I feel like I've been in a straight jacket in this life, I should be Houdini by now.
I'll tell you what, I mean, considering I actually got sent away just for seeing the stuff in the sky and having what's called and known as Morgellons disease syndrome, what I call part of the part of the package. But yeah, I feel that deeply. You know, your whole
See,
human
I
rights,
think
your
our
whole
soul
is
tie
taken
comes in through the straight jacket connection because
away.
my straight jacket happened at 13 because I was a derelict child and I asked too many questions and I just
Wow,
wasn't satisfied with hanging out with other 13-year-olds. I'm like, these
you were smart.
13-year-olds are idiots. Because my mom was like, you shouldn't be hanging out with 20 something year old people. You're 13. Well, the 13-year-olds are idiots. Most of them can't
Gotta get on that
spell.
same level. Yeah.
I got to get along with people. I was
Yeah.
raised by a mechanic in a shop with a bunch of grown people. You
My
couldn't
dad was a
expect me
welder and machinist. Yes, ma'am.
you could not expect me to go hang out with 13-year-olds that wanted to play with Barbie. I didn't want to play with Barbie. At 12 years old, I was in a hot rod going up and
I
down a drag
decapitated
strip.
mine, so and I played with Tonka trucks, but I buried Barbie with Tonka trucks, and that was way early on. So
I think my dad gave me and my sister our first car when we were 12 years old and turned us loose with it. And it was a strip down. It had no body on it. It was like a roll cage with a motor, a transmission, two seats,
yeah,
and a
a
steering wheel.
homemade go kart, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but it was on a car frame, and we had big fields beside
Oh,
our
an
house.
actual car frame.
Oh, yeah, it was an actual car.
Ah,
Actually, it was a
that's fun.
Chevrolet Impala, a full size, like, police Chevrolet Impala that my
We're
dad
not
built
talking
for us.
small then.
No,
So
no, girl, I wiped a light pole
funny.
out with that thing in the yard, like, it the
That's
light
funny.
pole. I couldn't hang out with 13-year-olds. Like, what other 13-year-old had a
Yeah.
full-size go-kart?
No. Well, I did, but it was homemade, but it didn't have a car frame. It was more like a lawn chair on wheels. I
Oh,
tried to
no,
build
mine was a
myself.
V8. Mine had a
That's
V8
crazy.
engine in it.
That
4
was the
speed on the floor.
motorcycles I was riding at early, but I never had a car like that. That's crazy. I
No.
actually built the go kart out of a lawn chair. I'm not kidding though. Whenever I was about 10 or 11, my brother and I built a go kart out of one of those folding lawn chairs, and it ran till we wrecked it.
I had a
It was
different
fun.
life than most kids did. I think I painted my first car at 14. I built my
I
first hot
totally.
rod at, like, 15.
Yep. I was
It
racing
it
dirt bikes at 4 years old, learned how to ride it too. So yeah, I was one of the very early female. You and I are a lot alike with that. My dad wouldn't
and
let
then
me
you
drive a car or even touch a car until I knew how to fix it inside and out, which back in that day, you could do that. These newer cars, I have
nope.
tried. There's no way I could change an alternator, put on a fan belt, fix a tire, fix the freaking wheel, anything on it. Jump start it, change the battery cables if they were bad, anything to that. I could change an engine out. But you give me these new cars, which I have now for because I have to have one that's pretty accurate for surveillance reasons. Yeah, no, it's not happening, and they did that on purpose. So
Girl, we are going to end this on a hilarious note for everybody. I just thought about something we was talking about cars. Um, my friend, she's like my mom.
yeah.
She was driving home from work, pulls into the gas station, and a girl is short of the gas pump about, 15, 20 feet. She's trying to push the car. So mom walks over there and she's like, "What's wrong?" She said, "I don't know. It just cut off." She says, "What do you mean it just cut off? Is it out of gas?" She says, "No, it said it had a half a tank." She said, "But when I was at the red light, it just cut off." She said, "So when I pulled in here and I stopped, it just cut off again." She said, "This girl was like every bit of 20, 21 years old and had no idea that she was driving one of those Fords with the automatic stop and start when you mash the brakes."
Oh, a hybrid. Oh my gosh.
And she's out driving around on the highway with people, y'all. This is
That's
the problem with
funny.
the normie.
Yeah, that's oh wow. Different times we're living in for sure. That's crazy. That's funny though. That is pretty funny. I
She
can see
said
that.
that she looked at the girl and she told her, she said, "What happened?" She said, "I don't know. Every time I stop, it just cuts off. So I
Mm-mm.
thought my gas needle was wrong. I'm trying to push it to the gas pump. So my mom gets in the car, puts her foot on the brake, and mashed the button, and it cranked up. The girl
Oh
would
my
not
God.
leave with the car because she was scared it was going to do it again.
I'm telling you what, that's funny stuff right there. I even like taught my own girls how to work on their vehicles and stuff, and they could even figure that out. But you know what? I've seen many people that have no clue, even at our age, that never even tried to work on a vehicle. I'm just like,
Well,
I,
see,
I
I got
always
a
drove stick
Chevy.
shift, so I had the
Well, I got a
the
Chevy,
automatic
and they
steer.
have a oil pressure sensor that's probably, well, you can't see it, probably about the size of
Oh,
that
yeah.
Sharpie cap, and it
Yep.
has a bad tendency to go out on the GM products. Mine has gone out.
Mhm.
You show no oil pressure on the gauge. My check
Right.
engine light is on. My ABS light is on. Somebody asked me the other day, like, are you going to address all these lights? No. I don't need to know what the oil
I
pressure is because
want
I
to
check
know
my
you.
oil regularly. And if it
Yeah.
goes to zero, we've got a much bigger problem. The check engine
Oh,
light is
yeah.
an oxygen sensor, which the government has suckered us into putting in. There's nothing
Mhm.
wrong with it. What
Yep.
about the ABS? It stopped, didn't it?
Constantly on, though. You notice that in most vehicles, the ABS, the automatic braking system, is constantly lit up. In almost any car I rent when I go places, or if I use, especially Turo, it seems like the ABS is always on. There's always a check engine and ABS, which we already know, what
Well,
I mean, what they're doing, but
if you're mechanically
mm,
inclined, quick trip. I know I said we were going to get off the air. If you're driving a newer vehicle and especially a pickup truck and your ABS light comes on, the sensor is up there where your caliper's at behind your wheel. If you will take it out, spray it down with carburetor cleaner, remove all of the magnetic shavings on said sensor, and stick it right back in, that sapsucker will go to work every time. It
or
collects
tap
the
the
magnetic
brake
shavings from
twice.
your brake pads.
Yeah. Yeah, you
They
can
don't want you to
actually
know that.
even make it easier, but they won't tell you that because that's how they get all your hard-earned moolah.
Yep.
So I'd rather push my car than pay someone to work on it, which is why I choose to work on mine. But again, I was struck by a semi recently, which put $17,000 worth of damage on my vehicle, and there was nothing I could do about that. Body work is a no, not going to happen. And these new cars, I can't work on you. I mean, you physically can't work on them. It's all,
Uh-uh.
a system that they're running the diet. It's a computer. It's computers, and you got to have the right hardware, silly. Yeah, and if you
Oh, yeah,
don't, you're
and you
not
gotta
on
pay
their
thousands of
engine.
dollars for the rights to even use
You
said
betcha.
software.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
all a
nut
scam.
game.
It's all a
It's
damn scam.
I love it. It's a lot of fun. I can't wait to do it again tomorrow. I'm lying.
Yep.
I just fibbed, but it's all good. It's all good. Shannon, I love you. I missed you. She worked her rear off today, I guarantee you. All right, guys. Thank you again, Roxy. Thank you
Thank you.
all for putting up with my mouth. My la boca es muy grande. Lo siento, señoritas, señoritos. Muy malo. My bad. So it's very bad sometimes, but it'll get better. Working on myself every day. So yeah.
Well, we will be back tomorrow night. Tuesday night is 7:30 show. That's the East Coast show. 7:30 East Coast. I think it's 4:30 West Coast, and somewhere in the middle for Lisa. Um,
Used to it. I'm a
she's in the
sandwich.
middle.
I'm a
She's a
sandwich.
sandwich. So we will be back tomorrow night. Go over, subscribe to Waking God's Child, Children
And
of the Most
to
High, or the
the
Roxy Files
Roxy's.
if you're not a subscriber,
Yeah.
because we love you. We love you, love you.
It's
And
important to get every voice out. So for all of my people here too, please go give them a big old thumbs up, like, subscribe. I know that sounds so silly. I get so sick of people saying that, but I mean, in the most real way, we're not trying to get rich. We're trying to save souls and communicate with each other because we learn from each other constantly. And this is the best way to do it. And so many of you have so many valuable bits and pieces of information that we need to hear because that's how we form the puzzle piece at a whole. So yeah, kind of
absolutely.
that. Oh snap! That just happened. All right,
Be
y'all.
nice
Thank you,
to a
Roxy.
stranger. Thank you. Be nice to a stranger. Smile at a stranger. Give a compliment to somebody you do not know. If you see somebody with a frown, turn it upside down. Jesus did not want you to follow him. He wanted you to be like him. Love one another. We need to love each other as one. Lean
Yeah.
on one another. Be good to somebody and love yourself.
Yeah.
I
Believe in
am.
yourself,
Remember,
especially.
I am. I am grateful. I am blessed. I am loved. Remember to repeat that to yourself every waking chance you get. Say your prayers before bed. Say your prayers when you get up. And we'll see you tomorrow night at 7:30. Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Bye bye.